Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you an update on some transfer news. So according to Stretta News, Manchester United have recently made a bid for Dominic Calvert Lewin. Everton want at least £80 million to sell Dominic Calvert Lewin. He has been at Everton for quite a few years now. He's made around 141 appearances in the Premier League and he's scored 38 goals. He's under contract with Everton until 2025. Everton paid just £1.5 million for Dominic Calvert Lewin. We've enquired about his availability before. Before he was at Everton, he had loan spells with Northampton Town and Stalybridge Celtic. Before he was at Sheffield United. He was at Sheffield United for a long time. I'd certainly take Dominic Calvert Lewin at Manchester United because, one, he's Premier League proven and he would assure us goals and he's still got a lot of development in him. Now, Declan Rice and Harry Kane both want moves to Manchester United. Darren Fletcher has confirmed that Declan Rice asked about Manchester United whilst he was on international duty. Now, last month it said that Declan Rice was interested in joining Manchester United and he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. Says West Ham are demanding £100 million. I do think £100 million is too much for Declan Rice. I reckon he's worth probably £60 million or something like that. Maybe £70 million at a push. Said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. The main explanations I take him at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He's still young, he's got a lot of development in him. He's predominantly a holding midfielder and Manchester United are in search for a holding midfielder. But Declan Rice can also be deployed as a centre-half. His performances for West Ham have been very, very good. Don't forget, it said earlier on this season that Manchester United were exploring a swap deal involving Declan Rice and Jesse Lingard. Obviously, Jesse Lingard wants a permanent move away from Man United and obviously West Ham want to get him on a permanent basis. But yeah, Declan Rice has been at West Ham 7 years. He's got a contract with them until 2024. Before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for a long time, but he never got in their first team squad. Now, Harry Kane, he's come out and said that he wants to win team trophies. Obviously, after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat against Man City. He said earlier on this season that Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham at the end of the season if they fail to qualify for the Champions League. Kane said he wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. Now, earlier on this season, it did say that PSG were looking to beat us and Man City to the signing of Harry Kane. Earlier on this season, it said that Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow because he refused to commit his future to Tottenham. It said he was delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. Kane's been on our agenda for a long time now. We'll have to make an offer of at least £120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because obviously he's a prolific goal scorer, he's link-up playing, that's good. He's been at Tottenham around 17 years now. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's under contract with Tottenham until 2024. Back in 2018, Kane signed a 6-year contract with Tottenham. Harry Kane has won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's obviously had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. Earlier on this season, David Ornstein spoke about Harry Kane. He said he spoke to people in football. He said that Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham because he's unhappy. He said he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there. But he said he wants to win the biggest trophies. And obviously he hasn't been experiencing this at Tottenham. Now, I want to give you some news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, apparently Manchester United have talked with Jadon Sancho's representatives over the potential move to Old Trafford. And we are confident we can get Jadon Sancho on the cheap this summer. He says that Borussia Dortmund are planning to sell Jadon Sancho in order to keep hold of Erling Haaland. Liverpool are interested in Sancho. Will they try and make a move for Sancho if they decide to sell Mohamed Salah? Now, earlier on this season, it said that Borussia Dortmund had give Man United a new Jadon Sancho transfer price. He says Dortmund are open to selling Sancho for £86 million. So they lowered their asking price because initially Dortmund were demanding £110 million. Earlier on this season, Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund, but he said he was happy to be back among the goals. Borussia Dortmund have admitted that they will sell Sancho for the right price in the summer, and Borussia Dortmund's CEO said that the club will discuss exceptional offers for Sancho. Earlier on this season, it said we was preparing to put a £50 million bid in. And also earlier on this season, it said we paused our transfer pursuit of Sancho due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. Last summer, don't forget, he was our number one priority target. And last summer, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United was extremely close. But the main explanation we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Dortmund's £108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. But last summer it said the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed. We had until the 10th of August to sign Sancho, didn't we? But we missed out on that deadline, so he remained at Dortmund. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga. And Bill's Christian Falk's also spoken a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he has been very, very consistent. You know, this has been his 4th season at Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City, and he's under contract with Dortmund until 2023. Don't forget, we was willing to offer him that number 7 shirt. Now, you already know the news, don't you, on Erling Haaland and Raphael Varane? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. I'm expecting Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window, maybe even 5, and I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. He said earlier on this season that we are expected to spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. Solskjaer's made it clear that he wants good backing, and I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves. Because obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. And we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. I can assure Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season, because it's already been made clear he will not be sacked as Man United manager even if we fail to win the Europa League. As you all know, the Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'll be exactly 4 years without a trophy. Solskjaer did say, don't forget last month, that winning trophies can be an ego thing. But we've got a good chance of winning the Europa League. We are into the semi-finals. You know, it's our 18th European semi-final, and it's our 5th semi-final under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've got Roma. Obviously, it's going to be the first meeting between Man United and Roma in 13 years. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the Premier League. We'll probably finish second. We know we're not going to win the title because we're too far behind Man City, and plus it's near the end of the season. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season we will never ever give up on the Premier League title. But like I've said in regards to Solskjaer, he does deserve at least another season at Man United because progress has been made in a lot of aspects. But I'll stick to what I've said. I don't think he's the long-term manager for Manchester United, and I think a lot of Man United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been criticised a lot as Man United manager, and obviously a lot of United fans have been demanding him out of the club. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out, but I presume there's still a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. You know, this has been his 2nd full season, and he's been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed to sign a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. I think Solskjaer's just got under a year left on his current 3-year contract. Got to say, he's our best manager since Ferguson. You obviously know the news regarding the Glazers. Manchester United fans will protest against the Glazers, it said, before our game against Liverpool on Sunday. Our fans recently protested against the Glazer family outside Old Trafford, and our fans burnt the American flag. Before that, he said our fans protested against the Glazers at Carrington, and our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground to obviously protest. And there was banners saying 51% MUFC 20 and Glazers out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insists that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United. And before that, he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. The Red Knights have told the Glazers to sell Man United. The Glazers want £4 billion to sell the club. Not so long ago, the Glazers apologised over the European Super League plans. The Glazers have been at Manchester United around 16 years now because they've been with us since 2005. It'd be the right decision to get rid of the Glazers because I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. So we need to recommend new owners in. Obviously, you know the news regarding Ed Woodward. Got announced last week that Ed Woodward resigns as Manchester United vice chairman, and it said he will stand down at the end of the year. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. And Woodward apparently will get to choose our next chief executive. He says not so long ago there could be 5 candidates Manchester United could look at to replace Ed Woodward. It actually said that Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. If we got Edwin van der Sar in, I think it would be the right decision by Manchester United because Edwin van der Sar knows the club through thick and thin, and plus he's got that experience because he's currently the CEO at Ajax, and you've got to credit him for the work he's done at Ajax, Edwin van der Sar. Don't forget he was linked with the technical director's role at Manchester United. I presume all United fans were delighted with the news though regarding Ed Woodward, because obviously we've been critical of him for a long time. I'm going to give you some more news, by the way, regarding Ed Woodward on my next video. But Woodward has obviously stood by Solskjaer. Don't forget he said earlier on this season that he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season, did Woodward, regarding the players and Solskjaer, and he says the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear, and in general, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when he was enduring them really, really bad periods. So, there you go. Now, quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Now, it looks like Edinson Cavani is going to be leaving the club. Solskjaer recently hinted that Cavani will leave Man United in the summer, but then he said that Cavani's future has not been 100% decided. Now, not so long ago, Cavani put a transfer request in and he had a meeting with Manchester United, and he's asked to leave Manchester United to join Boca Juniors. Now, Footballer Insider said earlier on this season that Cavani was willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He's already got a verbal agreement with them, and Boca Juniors are willing to offer him a 3-year contract. Marcus Rojo earlier on this season held talks with Edinson Cavani over a move to Boca Juniors. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season though that Cavani was closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Manchester United, and before that Cavani's father came out and said that Cavani is unhappy, he's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. We held showdown talks with Edinson Cavani over his future earlier on this season. Solskjaer said prior to the Tottenham game he was unsure over his future, and then it had said we'd been handed a boost in our attempts to keep hold of Edinson Cavani because the Uruguay manager advised Cavani to stay in Europe. But I'd like Cavani to stay for next season, and I presume a lot of Manchester United fans would, and Solskjaer as well, because he has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. You know, in the vast majority of his games, his hold-up play has been good, he's created chances, his movement in and around the box has been good, he's scored good goals. But there has been some games where he's not got enough service and he's looked isolated. Cavani's current contract expires at the end of the season, but there's an option to trigger his contract for a further year. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with the club with an option of a second year. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him as a player, because obviously he did very well at PSG, he won trophies and that, and he was with them a long time. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial in the summer. He's out of injury at the moment. It's a knee injury. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Ollie confirmed that earlier on this season. Martial sustained a knee injury whilst he was on international duty with France. But for the vast majority of this season, he has been out of form. The chances have been there for Martial, but he hasn't converted them. He's no longer good enough to represent Man United. We sell him in the summer transfer window. I reckon we'll get around 30 million. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good in his debut season under Van Gaal, and he was good last season. He's been at the club over 5 years. We got him in a deal worth 54 million from Monaco. Juan Mata, I'm expecting us to offload him in the summer transfer window because he doesn't get in our 11, and plus my element of concern about Mata is that he's lost that yard of pace, and plus what, he's 34, 35 years of age now, was out of injury earlier on this season. Donny van de Beek, I think we should offload him. Not to do with him being a bad player, he's a good player, it's just that he doesn't get enough opportunities at Manchester United, and he said earlier on this season that we're considering a Donny van de Beek swap deal. There was talks of an Adrian Rabiot and Donny van de Beek swap deal. Matic, I think we should offload him because he's always been a static player, and analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been inconsistent. Phil Jones, I think we should offload him because he's always been inconsistent. He's been out of injury for over a year, and plus he doesn't get in our 11. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. Tuanzebe could offload him because he doesn't get in our 11. Diego Dalot, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Romero, get rid of him because he's like our third or fourth choice goalkeeper. De Gea, we could still sell him, but there's quite a lot of United fans that think it would be a mistake getting rid of De Gea. I don't think it would be because I reckon he's had his years now at Man United, and plus now I think Dean Henderson is our number one because he's been in goal a lot in the last, month or so. And Alex Telles, I think, there's a good chance he'll leave. It said not so long ago that he's decided to leave Man United as Telles. Calcio Mercato said that Juventus are interested and they're willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in exchange for Alex Telles. So obviously we sell players in the summer transfer window, we'll generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But a lot of players will stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon quite a few players have got long-term futures at the club. Like I've said, in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I do have my concerns about him. Like I've said to you before, my two biggest concerns about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. That doesn't mean he can't succeed though at Man United. I hope he succeeds as Man United manager, but I'm very sceptical he will. And my other concern about him is his decision making, because in a lot of his games at Man United, he's been tactically naive, especially in a lot of the big games this season. Before Solskjaer was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Don't forget, Ole managed Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so you watch some of this team grow and develop. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a club legend, and that's the main reason he's still Manchester United manager. Disregarding being a club legend, I don't think he'd have been with us now. Solskjaer enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United, and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. There is positives though regarding Solskjaer, like I've said on my recent videos. He has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. He's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. He did well last season in his first full season. He's done well in a lot of aspects this season, which has obviously been his second full season. He's beaten quite a few big name managers. I like the way he has promoted the youth. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We are unbeaten in our last 24 Premier League away games. And in general, we've enjoyed good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, don't forget he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances, which is good. Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson. The three managers we've sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. He won the FA Cup with us, and we sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup, and the Community Shield, if you want to put that in the equation. And also got us a second place finish, which I think was in Mourinho's first season. So you can say Mourinho enjoyed one good season at Man United. You know, we're not even really known as a sacking football club, despite us sacking 3 managers since Ferguson. Mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. I do think the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for a while. Obviously, reflecting how poor our recruitment's been. We've overpaid for players. And in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired, and we spent over £1 billion on them. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.